You have been told to eat your vegetables your entire life. It is the foundation of good health. But what if I told you that one of the most common vegetables on your dinner plate right now is silently harming your circulation, that another one might be irritating your nerves and affecting your balance, and that a third could be upsetting your entire immune system? Today, we are not just making another good or bad list of foods. We are taking a deep dive into how 6 very common vegetables interact with the 3 core systems of your aging body. Welcome back to Healthier Daily, the channel where we give you the simple, science-backed truths to live a stronger and more independent life after 60. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Carter, and to help us understand our bodies on this deeper systemic level, we are joined by a physician who has always taught that the body is one beautiful and interconnected system. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Shigaki Hinohara.
Thank you for having me, Ben. It is a pleasure. You are correct. The body is not one single thing. It is a community of different systems that are all working together in harmony. You have the circulatory system, the nervous system, the immune system, and they all have different jobs and they have different needs. To be truly wise with our food, we must begin to understand which foods help which specific system, and which foods may cause a disturbance in that particular system.
And that is exactly the journey that we are going to take our viewers on today. In this detailed guide, we are going to explore 3 of these core systems and how specific vegetables affect them. First, in part 2, we will investigate system number 1, the circulatory system, which is the highways of our body that deliver nutrients to our legs and our heart. Then in part 3, we will explore system number 2, the nervous system, which is our body's essential communication network for our brain and our balance. And finally, in part 4, we will look at system number 3, the gut immune system, our great protector. It is a true blessing to have this knowledge to better understand the incredible and the intricate design of our bodies. If you are ready to understand your body and your food on this deeper level, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free, and this is a truly eye-opening conversation. Okay, doctor. Our deep dive into the body's core systems begins now. Let's start with the very foundation of our body's vitality, the system that delivers the river of life to every single cell. Let's talk about system number 1, the circulatory system.
Yes. The circulatory system is the great river of life. But as we get older, this river can become polluted with the sludge of inflammation, and its banks, which are your artery walls, can become stiff and narrow. We will start our conversation by discussing a very common vegetable that for a senior's body can unfortunately contribute to this pollution. It is the beloved comfort food of America, the white potato. I had a patient, a gentleman in his late 60s. He came to see me because he was suffering from many of the classic signs of poor circulation. He told me that his feet were almost always cold, his legs felt very heavy and tired at the end of the day, and his doctor was becoming very concerned about his borderline high blood pressure. When we sat down and looked very closely at his daily diet, we found a very clear pattern. He was eating a large portion of mashed or baked white potatoes almost every single night with his dinner.
And that daily habit was likely a major contributor to his problems. Let's look at the deep science of why this is. As we have discussed before on Healthier Daily, the simple white potato has a very high glycemic index. This means that it turns into sugar in your bloodstream very, very quickly. For an older body that may already be a little bit insulin resistant, this causes a large and a very inflammatory blood sugar spike. This constant daily spiking of your blood sugar is very damaging to the delicate, single-cell, thick inner lining of your blood vessels, which is a layer called the endothelium. The inflammation that is caused by the sugar makes this beautiful, smooth lining become rough, sticky, and stiff. This process, which doctors call endothelial dysfunction, is the very first step in the development of atherosclerosis, or the hardening of the arteries, and it directly impairs your body's natural ability to produce nitric oxide, which is the magical molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and to open up.
So the white potatoes were constantly fueling the fire of inflammation inside his arteries. The solution for him was very simple. We had him make a direct swap on his dinner plate. He replaced his nightly portion of starchy white potatoes with a generous side of gently steamed carrots and lightly sautéed spinach. After about 2 months of this one simple change, he came back to my office. He told me that the feeling of coldness in his feet had noticeably improved, and his blood pressure readings that he took at home were consistently lower. We had removed the daily source of the irritation, and we had replaced it with powerful, healing foods.
That is a perfect example of a smart swap. And both of those healing vegetables are incredibly powerful for the circulatory system, but they work in very different and very beautiful ways. Let's start with the carrots. As we know, they are absolutely packed with powerful antioxidants, especially beta-carotene. You can think of these antioxidants as the bodyguards for the delicate endothelial lining of your arteries. They help to protect that lining from the daily damage of oxidative stress, which helps to keep your blood vessels healthy, flexible, and resilient.
And what about the spinach?
And the spinach is perhaps even more powerful and more direct for improving circulation. Spinach is one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates. When you eat spinach, the good bacteria that live on your tongue and in your gut convert these natural nitrates into that magical molecule we just mentioned, nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the body's primary internal signal that tells your blood vessels to relax, to widen, and to allow more healthy oxygen-rich blood to flow through. So the spinach was directly helping to lower your patient's blood pressure and to improve the blood flow to his cold feet. It is just a beautiful example of the blessed and intelligent design of nature, providing us with foods that can harm and foods that can heal, and giving us the wisdom to be able to choose between them. So we've now learned how to protect the highways of our body, our precious circulatory system, by choosing the right vegetable swaps. That's an incredible foundation. But doctor, for those highways to be useful, the body needs a good communication network to be able to send its messages and to tell the body where to go and what to do. This brings us to our second core system for today, system number 2, the nervous system. How can the vegetables we eat affect our brain, our memory, and our sense of balance?
Yes, the nervous system is our body's beautiful and very delicate communication network. It is how our brain speaks to our legs and how our feet speak to our brain. And because it is so delicate, it can be very sensitive to certain natural compounds that are found in our food. This brings us to our next problem, vegetable, which is a very popular member of the nightshade family, eggplant, or CA-TIM. I had a patient, a woman in her early 70s. She did not have a lot of joint pain, but she came to me because she was very worried about her balance. She told me that she was feeling increasingly unsteady on her feet. She also complained of a strange, mild tingling sensation in her hands and a constant feeling of brain fog that was making it hard for her to concentrate on her books. We went through her diet, and she was a very healthy eater. But we discovered that she was eating a very large amount of nightshade vegetables every single day, especially roasted eggplant, which she absolutely loved. I suggested a simple experiment with her. I asked her to completely remove the eggplant from her diet and to reduce her other nightshades for just 3 weeks. The change was very subtle, but it was very real. She told me that after about 2 weeks, the strange tingling in her hands had stopped, and she felt more steady on her feet and more clear-headed than she had in many months. For her sensitive nervous system, something in the eggplant was acting as a gentle but persistent irritant.
That is a fascinating story, and it points to a very specific and controversial compound that we have discussed in a previous video, solanine. Now, we must be very clear with our viewers, just as we were before. Solanine is not a problem for everyone. Many people can eat nightshades with no issues at all. But for a person who has a sensitive system, it can be a problem. The science on this is very interesting. Solanine is a natural pesticide that the plant produces to protect itself from insects. Some research suggests that in the human body it may act as what is called an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. Now, that is a very fancy scientific term, but the concept is very simple. Acetylcholine is a critical neurotransmitter. It is essential for our memory and for the clear communication between our nerves and our muscles. Solanine may interfere with the enzyme that regulates this important neurotransmitter. And for a sensitive person, this could potentially lead to the very symptoms that your patient was describing, slower nerve signals which could affect her balance and a foggier feeling in the brain.
So the solution for her was very simple. It was to replace the potentially irritating eggplant with a different and very protective vegetable. The one that we had her eat more of was broccoli.
And broccoli is perhaps the most powerful protective vegetable for our entire nervous system, from our brain to our feet. Its secret weapon, as we now know, is the remarkable compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is a master at activating a special protective pathway in our body called the NRF2 pathway. When this pathway is activated, it turns on our body's own internal antioxidant and detoxification enzymes, not just in our liver, but inside our brain cells as well. This powerful effect helps to protect our delicate neurons from the daily damage of oxidative stress, and it supports their healthy function. It is one of the most powerful things that we can do with our diet to protect our brain as we age. It is a true blessing to have this deep understanding of how these different plant compounds can either gently irritate or powerfully protect the intricate and blessed gift of our nervous system. And we love sharing this kind of deep, specific knowledge with our global community. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. We love hearing from all of you. So we have now protected our circulatory highways with carrots and spinach, and we have protected our nervous system's communication network with broccoli. Doctor, this brings us to our third and final core system for today, the one that you often call the very foundation of all of our health. Let's talk about system number 3, the gut immune system.
Yes, our final system is our great protector. It is our gut immune system. As we now know from modern science, over 70% of our entire immune system actually resides in the tissues that are in and around our gut. A healthy gut means a calm, a balanced, and an intelligent immune system. An unhealthy, irritated gut often means a confused and an overactive one. Our next problem vegetable is one that for a sensitive person can be a direct source of irritation for the gut. It is the green bell pepper. This is especially important for anyone who is already dealing with an autoimmune condition. I had a patient, a woman with rheumatoid arthritis. She would have these terrible and unpredictable flare-ups of pain and swelling in her joints. We worked together like detectives, and we discovered that her flare-ups were often triggered after she would eat a large raw salad from a restaurant salad bar. We looked very closely at all of the common ingredients, and we found a hidden culprit. It was the raw, unripe green bell peppers that were always included in the salad mix. When she began to consciously avoid them, the frequency of her painful flare-ups was significantly reduced. For her overactive immune system, the natural compounds that were in the raw green peppers were acting like a trigger, and that was starting the fire of inflammation in her joints.
That is a fascinating and a very specific discovery. And the science of this points to a group of natural plant proteins called lectins. Now, lectins are found in many different plants, and they are another one of nature's clever defense mechanisms to protect the plant from insects. They are often described as being very sticky proteins. In a person with a sensitive gut, or a person with an overactive immune system like your patient, these sticky lectins can bind to the delicate lining of the intestine. This can cause irritation, and over time, it can contribute to a condition that we now call leaky gut. This is where tiny microscopic gaps can form in the gut lining, allowing undigested food particles to leak out into the bloodstream. When this happens, your immune system sees these particles as foreign invaders, and it launches a powerful body-wide inflammatory attack. And for a person with an autoimmune condition, this can be a major trigger that makes their symptoms like joint pain much, much worse. And as we have discussed in a previous video, the key here is ripeness. Green bell peppers are simply unripe peppers, and in their unripe state, they have a much higher concentration of these potentially irritating lectins than their fully ripened red, yellow, or orange counterparts.
So the smart solution for a sensitive person is to avoid the unripe green peppers. But the deeper solution is to focus on healing the gut. And the best way to do this is to feed the gut what it loves most. And that is fiber.
That is exactly right. The gut microbiome, which is the beautiful community of trillions of good and friendly bacteria that are living in your gut, is the training ground for your entire immune system. A healthy and a diverse microbiome teaches your immune system to be calm, to be balanced, and to be intelligent. And the absolute favorite food of these good bacteria is the prebiotic fiber that is found in our wonderful healing vegetables, like the carrots, the broccoli, and the spinach. When these good bacteria eat this wonderful fiber, they produce their own powerful healing and anti-inflammatory compounds like the short-chain fatty acid butyrate. This butyrate helps to heal the gut lining, and it sends a direct calm down signal to the entire immune system. So by eating these fiber-rich vegetables, you are directly supporting a calm and a balanced immune response throughout your entire body. It is a truly beautiful and blessed system where the simple act of eating a carrot or a piece of broccoli can create a wonderful cascade of healing that helps to protect our entire body. Doctor, this has been an incredible and a very deep guide. You have taught us to think about our vegetables not just as good or bad, but as powerful foods that have very specific and profound effects on the core systems of our body. This is a powerful new way to think about managing chronic joint pain. We have learned how to protect our circulatory system with carrots and spinach, how to protect our nervous system with broccoli, and how to protect our gut immune system by choosing our vegetables wisely. This is a truly holistic approach to senior health. By understanding how certain vegetables can be a source of irritation, our viewers can now make smart swaps to help reduce their daily joint pain. This knowledge is such an empowering part of a proactive senior health strategy. It is a practical daily way to fight back against the discomfort of joint pain and to live a more vibrant and an active life.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. Do not think of all vegetables as being in one single group. I encourage you to think of them as different specialists. The carrot is a wonderful specialist for your circulation. The broccoli is a powerful specialist for your brain and your nerves. The spinach is a great specialist for your blood vessels. You should choose the right specialist for the system in your body that needs the most care and attention at this time in your life.
That is a beautiful way to think about it, doctor, to choose the right specialist. It's a wonderful reminder to be good stewards of our health by understanding the specific and the blessed purpose of each of the foods that we have been given. And of course, the wisest first step is always to speak with your personal doctor or a registered dietitian before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you have any existing health conditions. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for the direct medical advice from your own trusted physician. If you found this guide empowering and it changed the way that you think about vegetables, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital information, and be sure to share it with a friend or a family member who might be struggling with some of these issues and doesn't know why. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free and it ensures you will not miss our next deep dive into your health and well-being. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know which of your body's 3 core systems, your circulation, your nerves, or your gut, will you be focusing on nourishing this week? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for being with us. Be well.